Greetings, Mr. Honor here. Welcome back to the channel Addicted to Geography, where we talk about geography things and things that are related to geography, and that could be everything, because everything is geography and geography is everything. Prove me wrong. Alright, so I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're making good use of these no movement days, this lockdown place time when we have more free time than normal. So if you're new here, welcome to the channel. We talk about geography concepts, all things related to geography here, and this is especially helpful to my students who are my regular and I suppose returning viewers to this channel Addicted to Geography. So if you have not subscribed as yet, please do so. Yeah, help a teacher out. Yeah, please just subscribe, hit that subscribe button so that you can get more geography related videos like this. Now today's video is based on a question, or well, not a question but a statement that my son made the other day. It's like he was saying all this rain and he was getting kind of frustrated because, you know, he wants to go outside and play around and the rain kept him inside. So he said, this is the most rain that I have seen in all my life. And I looked at him, you know, because yeah, he was just 8 years old, so yeah, it's not a long life, but I thought about it and I thought to myself, and you know, that may be actually true, because there has been a lot of rain in the last few days with Tropical Storm Grace and recently Ida. Now this brought a lot of thoughts to me too, because normally rain is a good thing. It cools the place down. Like, I wish some rain was falling right now, because as you can see I'm sweating bullets because the house is hot. But I wish, you know, rain would cool down the place. Rain normally does that. It brings a drop in temperature and the place is normally a little cooler. Now farmers also normally like rain because yes, plants, the crops that they're planting are going to need rain to grow. And normally rain brings with it all sorts of good stuff, you know, nutrients and nitrogen and, you know, all that chemistry stuff, which I'm not a chemistry teacher, as I said, most times. But it normally nourishes the crops and rain is normally a good thing. However, the lot of rain that has been happening in the last couple of days has caused some problems. And that is what we're going to look at today. We're talking about flooding.
Every month of the year, there has been in our history some incidents of flooding that has taken place in some aspect of the country. And that is something that we have to take note of.
Welcome back. Now flooding, you may be asking. I know you're not asking what flooding is. You already know what flooding is, right?
No, what tell me again, sir?
Alright, now flooding happens in an area of land that is normally dry and it becomes covered, or there's an overflowing of water on this area which is normally dry. Now this may be the result of heavy rains, this may be the result of a river overflowing its banks, or a dam bursting, or maybe sometimes even a pipe burst, and the large amount of water that comes out of this pipe, it flows over this area. Now ice could also melt, you know, and provide enough water that creates this overflowing of water over the land. Now in geography, we refer to flooding as a hazard. Now a hazard, as you should already know, is an event or an extreme natural event that can cause harm or has the potential to cause harm, damage, loss of life, you know, damage to property, all of those things. So that's what a hazard is. It's an extreme natural event that has the potential to cause harm and damage and loss of life and all of those negative things that you can think about. And flooding is one example of a natural hazard. You know, bushfires could be one also. Tornadoes, volcanic eruptions, you know. So the difference normally that we say a disaster is where there is definite damage, there's definite loss of life, damage to property. But the hazard has the potential to cause all of this. Now, flooding, as we have seen in the last couple of days, definitely ranks up there as one of those nasty hazards that no one likes, because it is often unpredictable, as what we call a flash flood. You know, the rain is falling. Yes, we see the rain is falling, but sometimes we are unaware as to how much rain has actually occurred, and this can cause problems.
Critics. Now, as said before, there are several weather conditions that may lead to intense rainfall that can cause the massive flooding of which we spoke about. There are different types of floods. The first type of flood is called the flash flood. Now, the flash flood, as the name suggests, it happens rapidly, so suddenly or quickly. Now, a flash flood is a rapid flooding of a low-lying area, and it brings a lot of water quickly into the area, and is caused by heavy rain, which is associated with thunderstorms, hurricanes, tropical storms, or even meltwaters from ice. The next type of flooding is called the riverine flood. Now, these occur when a large amount of rainfall hits river systems with tributaries that drain into large areas. These may last a few hours or many days depending on the intensity, the amount, and the distribution of the rainfall. There are also tidal floods. This results when large bodies of water, like the sea or lakes, overflow onto bordering lands. They are mainly caused by high tides. The heavy rains that accompany hurricanes create waves or high wind surges, and these hit the surrounding areas. There is also ponding, which is a slow buildup of water in depressions or sinkholes or areas with a clay base. And therefore, when the rain falls into these areas, the percolation rate is very slow. So the rain tends to start to build up instead of infiltrating and percolating into the soil. Because of the clay conditions, the water starts to pond or form a large body of water, and this may cause flooding. In Jamaica, flooding occurs from heavy rainfall associated with the many tropical weather disturbances. It can also occur due to deforestation. How, you may ask? Now, many of you might not realize this, but trees form a very integral function. And I'm not talking about giving off oxygen and, trees actually facilitate what is called interception. Trees with a lot of leaves and a lot of branches, when the rain falls, it hits those leaves, it hits those branches. And first of all, when it hits those branches, the water may trickle along the trunks and along the branches and then slowly hit the ground. So the full effect of the rain is not felt in areas that are heavily forested. Secondly, these leaves, and you might see over 1 million of these leaves in the trees, these leaves store the rainwater. So it actually holds the rainwater, or as the name suggests, intercepts the rainwater. So much of the rainwater does not actually hit the ground, as you may know from pranks that boys do. You ever walk under a tree after rain falls, and then somebody, one of these smart Alex jumps and pulls the branches or shakes the tree, and there you are, soaked from head to foot with all of the rainwater that was in the tree. So the trees actually prevent a lot of the water from getting to the ground. And as you know, the flooding is actually like an equation. So if too much water hits the ground, or too much water builds up on the ground in a short period of time and is not able to be intercepted or infiltrated into the soil or percolated into the soil, then flooding may occur. That area may be inundated by that rainfall or those flood waters. So the trees actually prevent a lot of rain from getting to the ground. In areas that are deforested, then there are no trees there to prevent the rain from hitting the ground, and therefore the full volume of rainfall gets on the ground, and that's what causes the flooding. One of the number one causes of flooding, however, would be blocked drains or inadequate maintenance of drainage facilities. So if the drains in your areas or the drainage facilities are not cleaned frequently, or cleaned any at all, or cleaned properly, then in times of heavy rainfall, these areas are going to become blocked, and they are going to cause the water to build up behind it, and that is what causes flooding. Additionally, and I'm speaking specifically, I'm looking right at you Jamaicans. We have seen, you probably know, you listening to me right now probably know someone who has actually dumped a garbage bag or many garbage bags into a gully. So sometimes we are our own problems. So when we cause this improper disposal of garbage, willfully blocking the drains and the gullies and the canals and the waterways, when all of these, you might say, oh, it's just me alone doing it. When everyone who is doing it and all of that accumulates, when the rain falls, that is when we actually see the true problem. All of this area, all of these garbage, these bottles, all of these come together and they accumulate, block totally. The water builds up before you know it. The water has nowhere to go, but it goes back onto the land. For example, on Marcus Garvey Drive, that has become a nuisance in latter times.
Now, earlier I said, Jamaicans, I'm looking directly at you with respect to the dumping of garbage in the drains and blocking and causing obstructions which leads to flooding. But don't be fooled that this can only happen in Jamaica. As you can see, this is what is happening in the United States, New York City to be exact. This is the direct result of the large amount of water dumped by Hurricane Ida himself.
mad our neighbor doesn't have power and we do. So this is what you do. Good neighbors. Coffee made to order. Has to be careful because we had construction on the street. Woo! Like a good neighbor. Penny and Paul are there.
Stick up in, stick a wholly pop in. So you would think that the video just got done so easy, so? No man, answer them questions now. See how much you have learned. So it is there. Questions. Alright.
Thanks for watching. If you like it, share it with a friend. And definitely think about subscribing for more content like this. Peace.